Okay, I'm back, and we are in spoilers sidebar right now. Go ahead and draw this out a little bit here. Okay, so here is the function sidebar recent category posts. And again, this is in a a basic PHP file. There we go. Thought it was a little weird that that was not up there. Okay. So pretty much the basics here. This only appears on single post pages. So we've got the if is single conditional tag there, and then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you see that there's an extra bracket there, where normally there would only be two in that spot. And the reason for that is, this entire function is encompassed by this if is single. So basically, like I said, it will only show up on single pages. In the event that you wanted to change that, like if you wanted to make it show up on whatever other page, like you'd have to mess with it a little bit. Like you'd have to make this is singular, and then you would have to make the category selector here. So like the conditional tag for the category 24, you'd have to change that to basically something similar to what we saw in the header. So it'd have to be 24 and the show 24, and then you'd be able to do that. And it would still show the same list of posts. So if you wanted to do that, you could. Obviously, you can leave it the way it is. I think it's better the way it is, but that's just me. So because obviously, like if you're on the 24 homepage, showing a list of recent posts in the sidebar is pretty redundant, considering that you have the most recent posts listed on the 24 homepage anyways. But that's just me. Like some people do it different ways. It's up to you. So, let's see. Moving on. Just basically, let's see if I can select the whole thing here and do it correctly. Okay. So this is your basic. Excuse me. This is your basic function for placing the post in the sidebar, and then basically it just repeats for every show. So like there's one for 90210, there's one for Big Bang Theory, there's one, you go all the way down the list, there's one for each show. So if you want to create a new one for a new show, like Adam and Matej, then you would just, you would create, you would just copy and paste that, and then change a few things, which I'm about to show you. Like obviously, you'd have to change this to the category slug for Adam and Matej. You would change recent 24 spoilers to recent Adam and Matej spoilers, and then you would change your category name. And those are basically the only three things that you would control here. Like everything else you would just leave alone, because everything else is just conditional based on which show it is. So let's see. Yeah, the recent 24 spoilers here, the H3 tag there, that's basically just your title. So if you wanted to make it, like if you wanted to just say it differently, like, I don't know, 24 spoilers, you just wanted to remove the word, cannot type, there we go, remove the word recent for whatever reason, or just, however you want to do that. You can change that up there. If you want to change the number of posts that are shown, you need to change this number right here. Under query posts, you look at show posts, and you can change that. I think it'll show up to 10. So if you want, you can do that. Obviously, everything else, pretty much everything else you're going to leave alone. Like the only things you would edit here are recent 24 spoilers and the post. If you wanted to get more specific with this, you could. Like if you wanted to show recent, from only season 8, for example, you would just, whoops, it's category name, and make sure that you keep in mind the distinction that this is the category name. So if you put in the category slug, it won't put anything out because it doesn't read it as a category slug or as a category name. It would read it as a category slug. So, and you just put this in. You don't need spaces or anything like that, or any sort of like quotes or that kind of thing. You just put it in as season 8, and then it would show season 8. Or if you wanted to do episode something, you could do that. It's completely up to you with that. So And then obviously same thing for 90210, or like I said, if you wanted to create another show, you would just copy and paste everything, if to else if. And again, just like with the headers, and basically just like with all the other functions that include stuff for every show, you're gonna want to make sure that you use an else if rather than an if, because it'll screw up if you don't. That's just a little PHP thing. So, and again, like, I'm not sure what your knowledge is of all this stuff. Like, you may be really familiar with this stuff and this whole process. I don't know. So I'm just kind of gonna, I guess, speak to the lowest common denominator and assume that you don't have a whole lot of knowledge of this stuff and try to keep it simple. So don't take it personally if you think that I'm like condescending. It's not really my intention. I'm just trying to be as thorough as possible. Let's see what's next here. Blog roll. Again, we're just gonna go in here, select blog roll, spoilers blog roll.php, edit selected file. Scroll down here so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, this is super straightforward. It's basically just function spoilers blog roll. It has sections for each show, just like everything else. And basically this is very similar to the headers in the way that it's called. So if in category 24 or page 24 spoilers, there you go. Then it'll show up, and actually that needs to be changed. Go ahead and save that real quick. It's funny, I'm pretty sure that the blog roll was showing up on that page anyways. Find something new every day. Alright, well, so that's fixed. So yeah, there's your basic function for this, and then it's just repeated for every show. And it's all it is just your you've got an H3 here, and that's, obviously you can go in and change the titles there if you like. You can do whatever you want with that. And then your ULID is blog roll, and then you've just got the list items. And basically I went through and just cleaned that up a little bit. Like, some of them were a little bit crazy. So, like, as you can see here, this is a better example than 902.101. You've got a lot of items here, so list item, list item, list item, list item, list item. It just goes down the list. So if you want to take some out, put some in, do whatever you want. That's just basically HTML to edit that stuff. I mean, basically the only thing that you have to worry about there is that you make sure that you stay, don't edit anything outside of the PHP tag. So like, anytime you have HTML in a function, you're going to have an end PHP tag, which is just question mark, and then this little thing right here. That's before the HTML, and then after the HTML, you'll have the begin PHP thing, which basically just tells WordPress that you're switching back and forth from HTML to PHP, and makes it, so that WordPress can decipher the code. So as long as you stay between those, you'll be fine. And then, very similar to the other stuff, there's one for each show. So as you scroll down, and if you wanted to add a new show, you would just do the else if thing. So you could copy and paste this, and then obviously you would change the category and the page. You would change the H3 tag, and then you would put your links in there, and you're good to go. So that's the blog roll. Again, pretty straightforward stuff. Move on to show home pages here. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. Just function show home pages, and again, you're just calling it based on the page. So if is page 24, it'll show this thing right here. Really, the only thing that you need to worry about with this is you need to make sure that the category name is correct, and then you can control how many posts are shown right here. Everything else is just straightforward. And if you want to add another show, all you need to do is pull an else if. You would change the page name, and obviously copy and paste. You would change the page name, and you would change the category name, and that's it. It's really easy to add new shows, and I am really close to 6 minutes, so I'm going to stop.